Good morning everyone and welcome back. I have not sat down here to do this in a very long time. Actually, I have never sat down here to do this because I am in my new apartment, so I've never sat down in this spot, but we're gonna work on a filming location. The Disney videos from my program are officially over now, so I did want to just throw in, you know, a fun couple fall ones of stuff that I really enjoy filming that I thought would be, I don't know, kind of entertaining to watch. So we're sitting here, it's sweater season, it is October 2nd when I'm filming this, so you're gonna see it kind of right away because I do really want to get this up. But today we're going over my reading list for October and probably November, because I was just gonna do October, everybody, and then I decided to get really ambitious. So we're gonna go over the books I want to read in October and probably November. December is fully Christmas book season, let's be honest. But yeah, I have quite the stack here along with my brand new Kindle that I have been using. So I do want to go over the Kindle books first, and then we can get into all of the paperbacks and hardcovers that I have here. In the fall, I generally like to keep my book themes to like fall, obviously fall reads, but like also like back to school kind of reads or academic kind of like fiction books. That's like my ultimate favorite, or even like a mystery or more fantasy kind of style stuff that's like very fitting, which you'll see. And then I do also like to get back into my nonfiction books, whether that be biographies I have here or more of like self-improvement style books as well, which I will show you. But I do want to dive into the Kindle first because I am very, very excited about it. So the case I got off of Amazon, and it is a kind of like a felty faux leather kind of case, and it does have a magnetic snap closure. And then this is it here. This is the Kindle Paperwhite. I wanted this one and I got it for my birthday. I wanted this one specifically because it is waterproof, which is a big deal. And then I did just get it a kind of outer shell case off of Amazon as well. But let's get right on into it. So I decided to purchase Kindle Unlimited because you can get so many books on Kindle Unlimited for $10 a month, and that is just something I was obviously quite interested in. So what my kind of rule is, if a book is significantly cheaper on Kindle, I will buy it. Obviously if it's on Kindle Unlimited, it's included, so that's where I will read it. But if a book is the same-ish price as an ebook as it is as a paperback, I'm just gonna buy the paperback. Cause yeah, so I just want to go over some of the books that I am very excited to read on my Kindle this year. So the first one is the one I am actually currently reading right now. And I don't know how good this book is going to be, to be honest, but I really, really liked the cover and the title, and it is called Pumpkin Spice and Not So Nice. It's obviously an October read, you can't go wrong with that, and it is like a little lighthearted romance novel. I don't even think they made this one into a paperback, which is why I'm like, I don't know how good it's gonna be, but we'll see. I'm like 2% into it right now, so that is currently the vibe, and I thought it would just be a really, really nice lighthearted read, especially because I am getting into midterm season, so something that's like super nice and easy for me to read. Along those same lines, I got a pumpkin and a patch. This one is also on Kindle Unlimited, so I just downloaded that one as well. That one I'll be reading after. Same kind of deal. It's just like a cute little fall read. It's by Jennifer Peel, and it says USA Today best-selling author. It's something to do with an eye patch, obviously, a pumpkin and a patch, and then the guy on the cover has an eye patch. I don't even know what it's about. I was just like, a pumpkin and a patch, that is a cute little fun fall romance book. I do have a ton of books downloaded on here from Kindle Unlimited that I have not read yet, but specifically for October and November, I also got A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, which is one that I got on the Amazon sale, so I believe it was on sale for like $1.99 at the time when I got it. I had no intentions of paying full price for this one. I know like these kind of books are not necessarily my favorite all the time. I saw it it for $1.99 and was like, you know what, I could definitely try it for that price because I know a lot of people have absolutely been loving this one. So I thought I would give it a try. This one is really, really popular on Book Talk. Once again, I don't even know what it's about. I know they say don't judge a book based on its cover, but I definitely do. I pick up books based on authors I like and based on titles and also recommendations from others, and that's kind of how I pick up books. Those are the main ones on my Kindle that I want to read this fall. That being said, we do have a stack here of paperbacks that we can get into. So first I just wanted to get into the one that I just finished, and this is The American Roommate Experiment. This is by Elena Armas, who is the same author that wrote The Spanish Love Deception. I liked The Spanish Love Deception better, I'm not gonna lie. This one was still good, but I don't know, The Spanish Love Deception, I just found myself a lot more drawn in. This one was almost too idealistic, but I still gave it 4 stars. I decided to, which I also kind of really like doing. So if you are just looking for a fun, lighthearted read, this is definitely a really great option. So now the other books that I want to get into. So the first one I picked up was The Inheritance Games, and I believe this is more of a young adult book. It is part of a series, so I believe there's 3 books in the series, and it says, she came from nothing, they have everything, let the games begin. It's almost giving me kind of Hunger Games vibes, to be honest. It says on the back, secret passages, elaborate riddles, billions at stake. So it's like giving me like Hunger Games vibes, but they're fighting over an inheritance. Another like Book Talk iconic book that everyone's been talking about right now. There's a lot of different reviews on the back, but based on what the back says. So basically, Avery Graham's grandfather dies and leaves her his entire fortune, but she has to move into his mansion, which is full of secret passages, riddles, and codes. Unfortunately for Avery, the Hawthorne house is also occupied by the family that was disinherited. One of the grandsons is convinced that she's a con woman and he's determined to take her down, but his brother views her as his grandfather's last hurrah, a twisted riddle, a puzzle to be solved. Avery will have to play the game herself just to survive, so very mystery-esque. This one I plan on reading the last week of October for sure. This is The Witches of Moonshine Manor. Once again, I don't know what this was about. I knew it was on the top charts, I knew it just came out, and it is giving all of the, you know, spooky, Halloween-y kind of vibes. It was almost giving me like Boil, Boil, Toil and Trouble kind of with the cover here and the little pot. So it says here, a coven of modern-day witches, a magical heist gone wrong, a looming threat. Ali Hazelwood quickly became one of my favorite authors at the beginning of the year, and she wrote The Love Hypothesis last year, which came out, which was actually, I believe, based off of like a Star Wars fan fiction, and the main character is kind of based off of Adam Driver, or the male lead, I should say. I absolutely adored this book. If you are familiar with romance novels at all in like the current bestsellers, you've probably read this one. Anyway, I do want to reread this one again because Ali Hazelwood came out with a second one as well. I don't know if they're the same series or like characters that kind of overlap or whatever. Obviously I haven't read this one yet, but I do want to read this one followed by this one, which is Love on the Brain. This one just came out the end of August, I believe. And it said, Bee's theory was right. Forcing a scientist to work for her nemesis triggers explosive results. So once again, focused around STEM. On the back here, there's a little book that says Space and Brain Theory. So it talks a little bit about NASA. I'm not going to read the whole back thing because you can do that if you want to, but I'm really excited to get into this one. I love the kind of school reads because I can like sit in the school and read them, and it just feels like I'm living like the aesthetic of it all. The last fiction book I have is Emma by Jane Austen. I have a little luggage tag in here that I was using for a bookmark for a while. I haven't started it yet though. I'm not sure if I'm gonna read this one. Sometimes I feel like picking up like an older novel in the fall time for literally for the aesthetic. I'm like, what can I read that just feels like fall? And Jane Austen books are obviously perfect for that. I have not read this one yet. I'm not sure if I'll get to it. This is one that's been sitting on my shelf for a very long time, and it is kind of at the end of my list of books I do want to read this fall. It's supposed to be funny, it's supposed to be romantic, all those kind of things. And then for my nonfiction books, I do have 3 here. The one, obviously, I have already started and I'm almost done, and this is I'm Glad My Mom Died by Jeanette McCurdy. I hate reading books with these things on them. I don't like hardcover books in general, but either way, I just decided to take this off. But yeah, it's Jeanette McCurdy's story, her biography of growing up and truly how traumatic and the abuse she suffered as a child, which is how she got into child acting, and everything else she kind of went through, which is, it's really, really terrible stuff. It's a good read in the sense that it keeps you captivated. It's enlightening about the industry in itself. I will tell you though, there are a lot of trigger warnings, so please look into those, because it is very, very triggering to someone who isn't even normally affected by those kind of the trigger warnings that are in it. But I found myself very much feeling deeply a lot of the emotions she displays in the book. So I'm almost done it. It is a really good read. I highly, highly recommend it. If you ever watched like any of the Nickelodeon shows growing up, iCarly, Victorious, any of them like that, I highly recommend reading it, because it is very enlightening on kind of everything that went down behind the scenes. And also, Jeanette McCurdy is a very, very good writer. She actually says in the book when she was younger, she wrote an entire screenplay first off, which, wow, and she enjoyed writing so much more than acting. But her mom wanted her to pursue acting, so she did that, but she wanted to be a writer, which definitely shows, and she definitely has the talent for it, and I wouldn't be surprised if we do see more novels coming out from her in the future. Atomic Habits, one I read almost 2 years ago now that I do want to reread. This is just a good book. There are a lot of self-improvement kind of style books that suck. They do nothing. They're boring to read. This one I found interesting to read and actually had a lot of tips that I could translate into my own life, so I do want to give it a reread. I do want to annotate it, because when I first read it, I was not into annotating at all. I didn't really know how, and I didn't really like doing it. Now I do, and I want to go through it, annotate it, refresh those kind of thoughts that are in it, and really analyze my own life that goes along with it. This book I just got at a book sale, so this one is available on Kindle Unlimited, but I got the paper copy because I got it at a used book sale for $1. It's a nonfiction, so I want to go through and annotate it. It is The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Everyone talks about this book. I've listened to podcasts about this book, but I've never actually read it. I've seen articles about it, but I've never read it. I've seen people do deep analyses on YouTube about it, but I've never read it. I want to read it. I want to see what it's about. I want to take notes. I want to implement some of the strategies into my own life and go from there. And those are my books. So considering the fact that I usually get through 1 to 2 books a week, this is an ambitious October reading list. We'll get through it. We'll get through it. That's why I said October and November a little bit too. But yeah, so that's my reading list. So thank you so much for watching, and have a magical rest of your day.